Has over 13,000 illegal immigrants who were convicted of murder been released into the country? This is what Fox News is saying. Let's get to it.
Well, a disturbing development on the border crisis. Wait until you hear this. The Director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement confirms that more than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught at the border and then released into the United States. A letter.
If that's true, this is unbelievable. Now, I don't really think that all those people who were convicted of murder just been released recently, but we're going to get to it because we already know how Fox News likes to spin things and put that little alert on it to scare the hell out of certain people who would watch Fox. So let's get to it. Let's see what they got to say.
Here tells the tale. Hello, I'm John Roberts in Washington. You believe this, Sandra?
Which means they are here, and this is just an unbelievable development. I'm Sandra Smith in New York. Good to be with you, John. This is America Reports. Let's get right to Bill Malugin. He's got this news for us. He's live out of Douglas, Arizona right now, where Vice President Kamala Harris is set to visit later this afternoon. Bill, the details of this news, what do you have?
Yeah, and Sandra, bear with me. We just got these numbers moments ago, but it's a jaw dropper to say the least. So to set the stage here, let me just explain what these numbers mean. ICE has something called a non-detained docket. Essentially what that is it means migrants who were encountered by DHS but are no longer in federal custody. So who's on this non-detained docket? It's illegal immigrants who were caught and released at the border, released with the court date years away. They're in immigration proceedings, combined with illegal immigrants who have already been ordered, deported from the country by a judge, but are still here roaming the country. So keep that in mind, this non-detained docket.
Okay, so now let's look at these numbers real quick. So it says 13,099 convicted of homicide, 15,800 convicted of sexual assault, and that's 425,000, a little bit over 425,000 that is in total. So what you have right now is you have a lot of people who are roaming the country that are criminals, pretty much. There's no other way to say it, all right? And has this been going under just Uncle Biden and Aunt Harris? No. This went under Uncle Trump and, Vice President Pence, Uncle Pence as well. So we have to understand that this has been going on for years and has continued to go on. Why? Because the border is not secure. All right. Right now, we have illegal immigrants constantly coming in because the borders are not secure. And if Vice President Harris was the border czar, why haven't you done anything? You can visit and say you're going to do something when you become president. You are vice president now. You have President Biden's ear. Tell him, do what you got to do to make sure that this is not happening, because this is crazy.
According to a letter that the acting director of ICE just sent to Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez, on ICE's non-detained docket, they're currently tracking 425,000 non-citizens who have been convicted of a crime. Of that number, over 13,000 non-citizens have convictions for homicide and are on the non-detained docket, meaning they're roaming the country right now. On top of that, there are another 15,811 non-citizens convicted of sexual assault who are roaming.
Okay, so now let's look at those numbers again. So, all right. So 15,008, let's round that off to 16,000, and then 13,999, let's round off to 13. So that's 16 and 13, that's 29. So if you just round to 425, you have to say to yourself that that's about 7 to 8% of the people that have been convicted of crimes that are roaming America, wherever they are. Now, mind you, they could be in jail because ICE records and stuff don't really coincide with a lot of these states. They could be locked up. They could be other things. So you have about 7 to 8% of these illegal immigrants who have been convicted of a crime who have done some serious crimes. That is not good. That is not good. We need our leaders to protect us. We need our leaders to say, listen, we're going to secure our border. We're going to do what needs to be done to make sure that things happen the way it's supposed to. This is out of control. Now, we already know how Fox likes to blow things out of proportion, but I say that these are numbers that I have researched, and I'm going to pull up an article containing some of these numbers, and I'm going to say that this is really crazy. Hey everybody, how you doing? This is just a short break. I'd like to thank you for watching this video up to this point. I want you, please, if you find the video interesting, to like the video. Thank you so much. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. That really helps me out. I'm trying to grow, and I'm trying to get out of small YouTube jail. I can only do that with your help. I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the video.
In the country right now on ICE's non-detained docket, it doesn't stop there. Those are convictions. The ICE director also says there are currently just under 1,900 non-citizens on the non-detained docket who have pending homicide charges who are roaming the country, and another 4,250 non-citizens who have pending sexual assault charges who are roaming the country on the non-detained docket. So people's eyes might be glazing over right now with all the numbers we just threw at you. Just to put it in a nutshell right here, what we've learned from the acting ICE director via this letter to Congressman Tony Gonzalez is
this is crazy. This is crazy. So if you add those, let's go back. So if you add those numbers as well, so let's say that 1,845, you round it up to 2, and then that 4,000 to say 4. That's, so let's just say 6,000 right there. So 6,000 plus the 29,000 that I said before, that right there is 35,000. With that number, you're looking at 9% of people who are illegal immigrants that are causing some of the heinous crimes that we have in this country. Why is that? Why are we allowing these people to stay in this country? If you have been convicted of a crime, it shouldn't be opportunity where you say, oh, well, I can go and hang out with my family. No, you need to be locked up. In fact, not even just locked up, deport their ass right back to their country where they were from. Why are we allowing this to happen? Why are we allowing this to happen?
Learned from the acting ICE director via this letter to Congressman Tony Gonzalez is right now, there are over 13,000 illegal aliens convicted of homicide who are roaming the United States right now. There are another 15,811 illegal aliens roaming the country right now who have been convicted of sexual assault. And there are even more who are facing charges for homicide and charges for sexual assault. So this just goes to show, guys, the non-detained docket has exploded under the Biden administration to over, I believe it's 7.3 million. They're anticipating it could hit 8 million by the end of the year. But looking at the numbers on this letter, right?
All right, so I'm just gonna stop it right here because, like I said, Fox News likes to kind of sway the numbers and stuff like that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up an article that's gonna talk about this a little further and gonna give us some more information on when these people actually came into the country. Okay, so this article here is from NBC News. It states more than 13,000 immigrants convicted of homicide are living outside immigration detention in U.S. ICE says more than 13,000 immigrants convicted of homicide either in the United States or abroad are living outside of immigration and customs enforcement detention, according to data ICE provided to Congress earlier this week. The immigrants are part of ICE non-detained docket, meaning the agency has some information on the immigrants and they have pending immigration cases in the U.S. What that means is that ICE held these people for a while, but did not have the proper information from the countries that they were coming from, mainly because they lied to them and they were saying things that were not true. Two of the officials said that it is not known how many are incarcerated because ICE is not always privy to that data from state and local enforcement agencies. Acting ICE Director P.J. Lichtner sent the data collected as of July 21st as part of a request sent in March from Republican Representative Tony Gonzalez of Texas. A spokesperson of the Department of Homeland Security said the data sent to Gonzalez is being misinterpreted and goes back 4 decades, long before the Biden administration. So what this article is kind of saying is that what Fox News is misinterpreting is that all this happened under Uncle Biden, when it did not. Some of this happened under Trump, some of this happened under Obama, Some of this happened under Uncle Bush. So we really don't know and can't pinpoint when all of this happened. It is not clear when the first migrant they need to stop saying migrant. When the first immigrant, illegal immigrant of the 13,000 crossed into the U.S. Two law enforcement officials familiar with the data told NBC News many of the migrants on the ICE non-detained docket, including serious criminals, crossed into the U.S. under previous administration, including that of former President Donald Trump. A high number of non-detained immigrants with criminal convictions is not new, though it has grown in recent years. So it has grown in recent years, but when they say recent years, it could mean 10 years, it could mean 15 years. This has gone back decades. We as Americans have to understand that this is a sad situation. It should not happen. We should have been secured our borders. What is going on with every single president that comes in that says they're going to do something about the border and does not do it? We as Americans need to make sure that we hold all of our elected officials accountable, because it's under their watch that this is happening.